Hey everybody, welcome back, and today we're going to be working on a little wave tutorial, and I'm going to show you how I go about painting waves from start to finish. So what I do, I usually break it down into 3 steps or 3 stages. The first one being the base layer with the sketch. So this is the initial layer that we get down super quickly, and then we move on to the second stage, which will be the blocking in stage, and this is where things start to kind of take shape, and then we move on to the final step, which will be the details, and that's where we finalize the piece. And yeah, so we're going to get straight into it now. I'm going to be using acrylic paint. This is Alphakrylik. I've got a wood panel here, I've got a cup of water, some paper towels, a few brushes, and a little glass palette. So what we're going to do first, we're going to get down all the paint. So we've got black, white, and then we've got the 3 primary colours, which are blue, yellow, and red. So this is all we're going to be using for this little tutorial. So first off, we're going to start with, well actually we're going to set the timer. I've got 45 minutes on the clock. We're going to see how much we can do, okay? So we're going to start it now. Alright, so first of all, what I like to do is I like to get the base layer down. So this means I literally have to tone the canvas. So what I do, I damp my brush, get a bit of water on the palette, as you can see, and I get a bit of red, a bit of yellow. So we're going to make a nice brown and a hint of blue, not too much blue. And as you can see, we're getting a nice brown here, and this will be a good tone for the base layer. Okay, so add a bit of white, not too much. So there we go, we've got a lovely, super quick brown through just mixing all the primary colours together and a little bit of white. So what we're going to do, just going to paint away. We're just going to get on the wood panel, and what we're doing now, we're literally just focusing on toning the canvas, and this will actually set things up for a slight warmer tone to the overall piece once we finish it, because we're going to work over this with lovely little blue and green turquoise colours, and that's going to be perfect for this once we get this down. So like I said, this is going to be the sketch and initial layer of the painting. I'm working very fast just to get it down, and this is always really fun. I always find myself doing this with loads of canvases actually, just to get this bit out of the way. It's very important, I think. Right, so we've got the whole canvas toned. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a bit of black, and we're going to just darken this so that we can do a quick outline. We're not going to be working with any pencils or anything, just the brush. And yeah, so we've just darkened the brown that we were just using. And what we're going to do, we're just going to get a little wave kind of shape going. And you know, we can, I'm just doing this from the top of my head, because I feel like once you know what you're doing with the waves, you can kind of figure it out, and you kind of can make things up, compositions up really. So what we're going to have is like the wave, the main wave here. So it's going to be curling over, and then it's going to be a little shadow under here. So it's going to be the darkest here, and then the light's going to come up here, and so that's all we really need, you know. It's pretty much ready to go. very fast. This might look very weird to you, but you'll see how this comes along. And yeah, you don't really need a pencil. You can obviously use a pencil if you want, that's more than fine. But what you'll find is like you can just get the simple shapes down, and you can kind of just work over it and just really go for it. So what we're going to do, we're going to clean this brush off, and then we are going to just quickly clean this up on the palette with the little paper towel we have. And then what we're going to do, we're going to start getting in the blues and the greens. So by adding a bit of blue and yellow together, we've got a nice green going. We can add a little red, not too much, and a little white. There's a nice little pastel kind of turquoise green. And yeah, we're just going to keep doing this, and then now that we've got that on the canvas, we kind of know where to go. So we're just going to block in. So we've finished stage one of the base layer and the sketch, and now we're just going to block in the colours, which is, I find this part really fun, because you can just really go for it. You can use a big brush, your biggest brush, and yeah, it just starts to kind of come together really fast now once you get these colours in. So as you can see, getting down the colour, keep adding colour to your palette, and make sure you get a lot of pigment from the paint on the brush, because as you can see it's very transparent at the moment, and that's because we don't have a lot of pigment or paint on the brush. So it's starting to kind of become transparent, and that's really good for what we're using, obviously acrylic colours today, and acrylic dries really fast, unlike oils where they dry super slow. But because we're working with acrylic colours today, we're going to use that to our advantage really, and we're going to take advantage of the drying times and everything. So yeah, as you can see, we're just getting the nice block-in stage going. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do here is lead up to this wave. So it's going to be lighter here, and then it's going to get darker here because the light is coming from this direction, and we want a nice shadow casting down from the wave above, and this will give that illusion of the wave crashing down. Yeah, as you can see, getting that shadow in. So as you can see, I'm very loose with the paintbrush. I'm not gonna overdo it or anything. It's fine. No mistakes are really happening here. It's literally, we're going to cover up this again and again within this whole tutorial, so it's completely okay. And what you find with waves, they start getting more transparent at the top, so we can gradually build back up the lightness of the paint by adding a little more yellow and a little more white to our mixture. So there we go. Right, so now what I like to do is work on the background. So the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. So the background is going to be slightly more blue instead of green. And this should have a nice illusion of distance. that's what we're going to create. It's really fun. I love doing this. I love seeing it all come together. Just literally super fast shapes on the canvas, and somehow they come together in a lovely form, and they'll give off that illusion that we're in water, or we're painting water. Yeah, I got into waves last year, towards the end of last year, and man, it's been so fun. I love doing it. I love doing it so much. It's really fun. Yeah, so as you can see, we're getting down the background now. You can add a few. It's all right if you, you know, I feel like being random with each brush stroke at this stage is super effective for the whole piece. You can add a little bit of foam, and one thing is really important in this stage is to not always mix your white. This way we can save the whole like highlights for the very end, and that's where we add the details and we start really allowing those colours to pop. So what we're going to do now, because I just said we're not going to use a complete white, we're going to tone it down a little with a little bit of the blue. We're going to just get it in right here. So this is going to be the lightest part of the painting. This is kind of where the water starts to like just cloud over, or just, you know, foam up as much as it can here. And yeah, so I think you can already see it from me just looking at the camera there. You can definitely see that the wave's starting to come together. So you've got the, we've literally made, it's been 12 minutes and we've already got down a nice base layer, and we've started our blocking in stage, and it's going really well, I think. And feel free to pause this video at any point and go back and just to see what I've been doing. That's really useful. I mean, pretty much that's how I've learnt over the years, is just by watching YouTube tutorials and just looking at them and just being like, okay, how are they doing this? Like, really question it and then try it. And it's okay if you don't get it right, like that's completely normal. Yeah, it's more than fine. If you want to pause, go back, and if you don't get it on the first round, like honestly just go again, like have another crack at it, and you'll see, like you'll start to improve, which is really cool. And I've always loved that about art, and yeah, it's just so fun. Alright, so now we're going to continue on. We're going to work back down, because as you can see, the paint is already drying, so we can go back into this part of the painting with even richer tones. So it's not going to be as transparent as the first layer we did. So I'm just mixing a little more blue, a little more yellow together, and taking a bit of that white that we've just mixed, just to mix that up as well. Okay, so we're just going to go back in, and as you can see, it's more opaque now, because the first layer has started to really dry. We can get that second layer on very quick. Yeah, it's been really fun so far. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, it's like my first kind of live tutorial thing, so I hope it's going well. But yeah, I'm super happy with it so far. It's going to plan, which is great. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to start adding darker tones as well. So add a little more black, a little more blue, a little more yellow. So in between here, I want a little you want variation in the tones, especially when you're working with water. And you've got to also remember that you're working from the very back to the front. So it's literally okay if you like mess up now. It's more than fine, because in the final detail layer we're going to just go over that with, you know, the illusion by adding foam to the painting, or the water, sorry. And that's when it's going to really pop. So I'm working super fast here, and once you get this down, once you know what you're doing, you can work really fast, and it's so fun once you get it down. But you just got to understand the basics, and this is really the basics. This is what I've kind of taught myself over the last few months. What do I need to do in order to create that illusion, and how do I build up to it? And I found this is probably the easiest way. If I break it down into 3 parts, the base layer that we did very quick with the brown, and then the blocking in. What we're doing now, we're still blocking in, just getting down those tones, and yeah, you're seeing the illusion already of the wave. But we just got to build up, keep building up to it, and it's super fun. As soon as we get down this base layer. Bit more blue down here, a bit more white, not too much white. We remember we've got to hold off on the white. White's very important for the end. But that's okay, that's all good. Just have fun with it. If you make a mistake, well, I don't think there's even such thing as a mistake in painting, because you can always paint over it. It's really forgiving when you really think about it. And if this is your very first time painting a wave, like, just enjoy it, have fun. Super therapeutic once you get into it, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. Okay, so we're gonna go a bit more lighter here. And sometimes I also brush over the wet paint, just so that it blends nicely. The trick with acrylic is that because it dries so fast, you've got to work really fast, and especially when you're creating something like water, you want water to be smooth. Water is super smooth when you look at it on the surface. It just kind of glides over everything. It looks really majestic when you pay attention to water. It looks really cool. So we're just going to try give that illusion of the smooth, kind of like dreamy water-like texture, by just keeping our brush wet and pretty much keep it moving, like just keep moving. And this way you're actually not overthinking any of the process, which is really cool. You just kind of do, and I've realised over the years that I kind of struggle when I'm overthinking it, and I really try to think out every move that I'm going to do, and I found that that's not the best way to do it, because you'll just overthink it, and that's not good. That's not good for anything. You want to be free as possible. So getting down super fast lines with a big brush, you should be good. Like it avoids that whole problem, which is really nice. And yeah, as you can see, it's all starting to come together. Just have fun. You make these split decisions very, very fast, and yeah, it's always so cool when it comes together. Just trust yourself. You've got to trust the process, which is very hard at first, I think, because you're just new to everything, and that's completely fine. But the more you do it, the more you realise that you need to just trust yourself and like just have fun with it. Like that's the way to do it. That's what I've found anyway. So right now we've got a good base layer of this part of the painting. We're going to work ourselves up to this kind of point here, and we want a little more yellow in this point because it's super transparent. So that's what we're doing. It's very nice. I love this colour. Kind of light turquoise, a little more orange. Super nice. Remember, you got to keep the brush strokes loose, loosey goosey. That's what I always say. And we're going to bring it down slightly more blue. So we want the wave to come from this direction. As you can see, it's coming up here, and then we're also leading your eyes around the canvas, which is really cool. And definitely composition in paintings are very important. And I don't know, if you go to a gallery, you'll see that every painting like holds a good composition, and it's good to just analyze that as well. Whenever you look at a painting, even photography, it all applies, and it's all the same kind of theory that we're working off. Like in terms of composition, like the golden rule is very, very important, and leading eyes, that's very important for your paintings. Yeah, I found that a good composition in a painting is a game changer, and it really, really, really helps with the overall look of the piece, and it just feels more natural, which is what we want to go for. We want as natural as possible. That's the main thing. So right now we're getting a little more darker, and a little more black, a little more blue. Right here, because this is really important. If you get the shadows, the darkest parts and the lightest parts have to really be playing together to create that wave illusion. Even get your fingers in, get stuck in. Just have fun with it. Just like that. Right, it's looking cool. We're going to make this gradient a little better right here. Add a little more water. What's cool is, because I'm using fluid acrylic, it's very useful, as you don't need to add too much water to them, as they're super like fluid already. You don't need to worry too much about having so much water on your brush. If you're using heavy body acrylic, that's of course fine. Just add a little more water than what I'm using right now. And yeah, there we go. So as you can see, we've got the darkest down. Now we just need a blend, you know, a little more dark here. How are we doing? We're 22 minutes in. Oh no, we've got 22 minutes left, sorry, which is great. We'll spend about another 10 more minutes on the blocking stage, which is plenty of time. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you can definitely take hours and hours on a wave. Like, that's what I've been doing And I've been working with oils lately, which is a complete different switch up to acrylics, and maybe I'll do a tutorial on that very soon. But yeah, it's just been, I've been having so much fun with just creating these waves, and the illusion of the waves is so important to achieve by just doing these steps. Remember to use the paintbrush in a way very lightly, so that it's almost just gliding across the canvas or the wood panel or whatever you're using. I'm going to add a little more shadow here, and this will really make the water pop, or the white foam pop at the top. Just little bits here and there. And a little more blue. Here we go. Okay. So we're already on like layer 3 down here, which is crazy how fast we've been working. And as you can see, the paint is kind of working way better with more opacity now, which is perfect, and that's what we want. We want to achieve that really rich colour, and that's only by building the layers. You can only do that by building the layers up. And that's what we're doing. Very simple. So I'm just taking little quick steps away, just pushing my head back in my chair so I can have a nice look at this painting. And I'm even looking at the camera now, just seeing that little preview of what's going on. And I also recommend to do this by just taking a picture on your phone of each process, and that way you can really step back and you can see what's going on. Yeah, just taking pictures of on your phone. If you record it, like looking at the video, just seeing what you're doing, and that will give you a really good perspective. So what we're going to do, I'm going to clean this brush a little, because we're going to be working up here now. And like I said at the start, I want that a little more blue, and this will break away that background and that foreground. So we're going to add more blue, a little more white, and yeah, we're just going to go for it. Add a little black there, just to tone it down a little, because we don't want it too saturated, you know. Water's literally, the colour of water depends on its surroundings, and right now we're probably looking at a nice sunny day. You know, there's not a lot of clouds in the sky. It's mainly just a blue sky, and that's casting down on the painting, which is really cool. And we've got to always make sure what time of day, what the surrounding is for your painting or the wave painting, because that's all going to matter in the end, where, you know, it can really change what colours you're going to go for. So okay, my video just decided to stop. I hope it hasn't stopped completely, or I don't know when it stopped, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm just going to continue on here. Right now we've got the main block down. We've got 15 minutes left, which is amazing. We're on time, we're doing great. We're just going to add a little more white here, not pure white, just a little toned down white. You know, we're going to have fun with it, just go a bit crazy, let it flick out, and everything. Just using your brush, like take advantage of like the bristles on the brush. It's so important to just get those textures, and you can use the brush in that way. This is quite an old brush, as you can see. It's not doing well for itself. But I never really throw brushes away. It's kind of you know, it's important to keep those brushes, even if they're a bit old. The textures are so important. Okay, so right now we're starting to add the foam, and because this is a super nice textured brush, we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to just go crazy with every single bit of foam now. And foam is what is going to bring that illusion of I'm going to add a little more paint here, but the foam actually helps so much with that illusion of water. Yeah, so we're going to get it down super quick now, and you'll see it's really starting to come together now. Just a matter of like seconds, really. Starts to come. Add a few drips here and there, you know. Foam is very random. Doesn't really follow any set rule. It's kind of just follows the wave, and this is where you've got to really understand the directions of each wave in this. Like, it's kind of like floating up and down and then goes up here, so yeah, we've got to remember that always. So because this is the first layer of white, or the foam, it's okay if it's not pure white. Like, we don't want that yet, we want to build up to that. So just add a few here. You know, we've got a nice base. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop using the big brush. I think that's time. It's time we use a different brush. So we're going to just lower the flat brush size to this smaller one. And yeah, you don't even need too many brushes. I would say 3 or 4 is like the minimum you need. And yeah, there's synthetic brushes. I don't really get anything else than synthetic brushes. They're super good. I love how you don't need too much pressure on the paintbrush, which is really great. As you can see, we're going crazy. This is where it starts to really form, and it's where you kind of have fun with the wave. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more to the background. Remember, it's going in a different direction than this, so we're going to be mindful of that. Kind of let the paintbrush do its thing, and in the lighter areas, as you can see, the lighter areas, we're going to aim for like kind of the white foam to be within that. So yeah, we're just using that guide, that guide that we set up right at the start with the base layer. We're using that, and we're just continuing to build layer upon layer. And obviously acrylics are so good for that. We can do that so fast, which is such a blessing. Yeah, if anyone's worked with acrylic paint before, and I'm sure you have, that's probably the main, it was definitely the first paint that I was introduced to, and I've just been using it for years. I can't get enough of it because it's just so useful, and yeah, we're just having fun with it now. It's just super easy, and as you can see, once it starts to dry, you'll see it goes a little darker and it kind of sets in really nice. Right, so I'm just taking a little step back just to see where we're at, what we're doing, what it needs. Okay, all right. Okay, so now I want to add foam here, but it's not going to be white as this, so we want it to tone down a little, maybe add a little more blue, and then add that to the white. So we've got a nice toned down version of the foam. Add a little black actually, just a little goes a long way. And we're just going to continue this up the barrel of the wave. And this is the part where, this is my favourite part of the painting process of painting a wave, because it all starts to come together now. It's really nice. You see that kind of illusion really start to work, which is really awesome. How long we got left? We've got 9 minutes left. Ooh. Let's see what we can do. The time's ticking. Yeah, we're getting that darker foam down. If I make a little mistake or I want to change it quickly, I just use my finger, get stuck in really. It's very quick, very simple. Okay, so right now we've done the base layer, we've done the blocking in. Now we're going to work on the details. And like I said, I use the white to last, you know, the pure white to last. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to go over each and every bit. We're going to just really make up that foam. And you'll see it starts to really pop now. This is really nice. We've done all the hard work. Now it's just bringing it to life with the foam, going crazy. We can still have fun. We're still using a big brush. We haven't got to the final details yet, and that's with the smaller brushes. Giving it nice flicks and everything. Okay, so we want, just be very expressive with your movement. I think that's the best way to kind of understand or just get down the paint foam, the white foam on the sea or the water. Go for a little refill. The white. White is probably the most used colour that we're going to be using, just because you do need a lot of it, and it's pretty much mixed with every single colour on this painting. Let's go over here with more white. So now you really got to think about being bolder with your, and more precise with your brush strokes. Very important to really be kind of just bold with it, you know. Just commit to putting down the white. Just like work off what you did, and just keep moving very fast. Like I'm still moving super fast. We haven't got to the final details yet. How long are we doing? We've got 5 minutes left. Oof. See what we can do. Yeah, I'm really starting to like this now. So yeah, once you have watched all of this, feel free to try it yourself, and yeah, just tag me in it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm sure in the description you will know exactly where to like post and how to get to me. Because I just want to see what you guys come up with, and I'm actually going to be giving away this painting that I'm working on right now to one of you guys. So yeah, just I guess we're going to make sure all the details are down below. But yeah, one of you guys are going to win this, and I'm sure I'll do loads of other prizes. Alright, so we've got the main water down. We're going to start, I'm going to get the rigger brush actually. Instead of the round, we're going to just go straight in with the rigger brush, and as you can see it's really long head brush. So right now we're just going to add those like super sharp details right here. The foam is like at its peak. So we're going to go in with straight white and just work into it. And as you can see, some of the layer below that we just did is slightly wet, so it's mixing with the white. And because I'm not fully mixing in the colours together, it will give that nice illusion of depth, and that's what we want. We want the illusion of depth. Very important. You're going to have little spots of foam here and there at the bottom. Got 2 minutes left. Ooh, final stage. Really is coming together now. I'm going to go back in with this flat brush very quickly. I'm going to add a bit more, going with a little more work here. Just like that, just to really add to that illusion of the barrel of the wave pushing over. Alright, so now I'm going to add a little more white. We need more white. We've got 30 seconds left. We might go over a little, but it's all good. I'm going to really push up these highlights now. This is the final detail stage. I love going in now with the pure white, and it all really is looking great. Oh, we're out of time, but we're still gonna go because one thing about art is that you have to break the rules, you know. So we're breaking the rules. Did 45 minutes. I mean, I'm very proud of what we did in 45 minutes already. Yeah, you can just do so much in that time, and I definitely recommend you guys just even if it's not a wave, just like whenever you're doing your art, just always take the time to time yourself when you paint, or whatever you're doing digital art. Just time yourself, give yourself like half an hour just to see what you can do, and it really tests your skills. Like, it's testing mine right now. I'm being very I'm trying to think very fast about the things I'm doing and putting on to the canvas. Alright, now for the final touch. We're going to get the biggest brush we have. I'm going to clean it off a little. I'm going to add the last bit of white, and we're going to go in with a few splatters. It's going to get a little messy, but that's always welcome. So we're just going to use the brush to... That's it. Look at this. And this is the final details. We're going to add just a little... Going to hit the canvas, you know. Little splatters here and there. There we go. It's fine if you go over a little. It's all good. Oh, went a bit crazy there. I've got a bit carried away, but that's all good. You know, just little smudge that off. It's okay if you make little mistakes like that. Just continue. Just add a little more. I think there's going to be a lot more splashes here, so we're going to get really stuck in right here. And there we go. So add one little more detail just to finish it off. I just want a little more yellow here. So I'm going to add a little, the lightest, there we go. Just a few highlights to really make this pop. As you can see, my hands are super dirty, and that is more than welcome. Just a little more. We're nearly done. I should really stop, but you know me. I get carried. Like, this is the point where you can have so much fun with your painting, and it really doesn't hurt to go in with a little more detail, you know. All right, let's do it. Let's leave it. Let's call it. Okay, one more. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta keep doing it. Oh, there's always things that I can see, but it's all good. There we go. One more. Just get your hands straight in. Give some nice textures. Look at that. There we go. And that is it. Boom. We're done. Okay, it took about 50 minutes of solid work, and yeah, this is only a basic way of painting a wave, but you can go on and on. You can go with more detail here. We can definitely do more detail here. But no, I'm very proud of this, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm looking forward to see what you guys create with this little tutorial. Like, honestly, just try to paint the same thing. Like, do that composition where the wave is coming up and it's folding over right here. Like, yeah, we've made that, and that's it, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Thank you.